Greetings. The title of this video is Inner Hatred of Asperger's. In this video I will go over the meaning of inner hatred of Asperger's. This video will be a personal video going through my own experience with the struggles of Asperger's and my internal conflict with it. Most of my conflict of my hatred of my Asperger's is mostly with my interactions with loved ones. There's many opportunity situations will happen and I, looking back, didn't behave the way I wanted to behave, and I behaved in a way that was very weak, and it's something I deeply regret. The best way to describe it, I become like a little childlike in my behaviour. I kind of like, the best way I jokingly describe it, it's like going up like in the fetal position. It kind of shows a bit of weakness and things, and that's kind of the conflict when faced with situations that I cannot control. So sometimes I do that, I say stuff, my body language isn't going as my heart is, my mind is at times, and especially when dealing with variables I cannot control, I find it very difficult, and then I start to hate like myself afterwards, especially if it's someone I deeply love, and my behaviour, words and things I said, and looking back I wish I pray that I never said in the first place. But it's good that I have this realization of it, and because I don't know everyone's hearts or their minds, but I would love nothing more than just to have a conversation with someone that also has these traits of, like, you know, artistic type traits and the way their mind works and about things. I do find social interactions with people very difficult, especially when people aren't honest. It makes it harder for me, and if they have inferior motives, I get very concerned when I see patterns of behaviour and keep on going in cycles and things, and that's why I avoid drama. I usually avoid a lot of things, but a lot of my hatred of Asperger's usually has to do with how I interact with people, what I say, and that my words don't always correlate with my deeds when it it's disconnect. Again, more childlike. I'm not. I'm gonna go very deeply personal now on this. Because I only way I can do it is through comedy. My observation of how most men interact, whether it be sexual and things, is to be more direct and upfront, with flirting and things like flirting and stuff like that. I am totally clueless when it comes to flirting. Totally clueless. I don't have that mindset where it consumes me because I'm not really enslaved by it. So that type of behaviour is of no interest to me. So it's kind of, my inner hatred of Asperger's has a lot to do with that. It's the desire to want to connect with someone in a deep way, spiritually and physically, but the inability to do so, with a bit of fear, this internal conflict, when where my brain is and where other part of myself is, and it kind of gets in conflict, because I don't have that drive, and maybe it's a blessing. In a lot of ways it's a blessing, because one, it means that I'm less likely to be controlled and manipulated because I'm aware of it, but it makes it hard for me to connect. It's because the whole world, I get bombarded by it. Here we go, I get bombarded by it. So maybe 200, 300 years ago, 1,000 years ago, I would have been able to adapt more to the environment around me, but this environment gets saturated in, which I can only call degeneracy, and just the over sexualized I see this world is, and it's hard for me because I'm not, unless I see something, I react in my mind to it, but other than that it does not come to me, or like sexual things does not come to me naturally at all. And maybe it's different from the average man, possibly. By my observation, they tend to be more like, they see like pretty women, they go, and I can't whistle now, but it's kind of that, like, at times, even when I was younger, I lot of, again, my inner hatred of Asperger's goes way back in before I was diagnosed with it, because there's a lot of things that set me apart from like my people around me. And I try to force myself to be like other men, and it made me extremely depressed and suicidal. So I'm just grateful God I don't have suicide thoughts anymore, because He just removed that from me and just gave me peace. And that inner hatred has a lot to do with that. With me is how I interact with people, how there's many ways that I would like, but I know God made me this way for a purpose, because it means that I'm able to connect with people more deeply than what an average person would. When I value someone, I truly value them, and I don't have any fear motives. I just, and because I'm more childlike, I'm more kind of honest, and there's a lot of positives about Asperger's. The only hatred I have for Asperger's is just it makes it harder for me in a world that's gone completely degenerate, and so it's, especially with what a lot of people talk about, I just afterwards then just go my eyes and go, just go, and I try my best. I try my best just like to get through it. But a lot of times, a lot of things that people say would just go over my head. I go afterwards. I just pray afterwards. Yeah, I've a lot of inner hatred of Asperger's. That's why I don't like using the label Asperger's, and I try to, the best I can, not make it obvious that I have the condition. I try my hardest. But if you talk to me face to face, I do hope I don't get off this like Asperger's make it obvious. I don't know. With my face expression, because I try my hardest. I try my hardest to hide it, but when it comes to situations that make me nervous and uneasy, it becomes very manifest. Especially when I'm around people that are, say lack of better words, they make me extremely uneased, and when I'm around people make me extremely uneased, my Asperger's come more often put in a situation where they say something that shocks me, and I'm just kind of left like stone-faced. So yeah, there's many things about Asperger's I hate. It's mostly conflict between myself and my masculine traits. I had more masculine traits when I was younger. I lost that being diagnosed. I often question when I was positive or negative, because I hate labels, because once you label something it sticks like glue. So that's, I just want to see someone for me as me, and not because the label I was diagnosed with. And my inner hatred of Asperger's is more of a reaction to the word in regards to it. It's not as understanding. Love people I'm blessed when people are understanding, but it just makes things harder for me, and especially with trust issues, because I'm extremely gullible. If you tell me something, there's a high probability to believe it, and that's something I had to change. There's a lot of my traits I had 10 years ago, my autistic traits, I had 10, 20 years ago, I no longer have, and thank God, because they just make unnecessary complications. And I still have some, and I'm hoping a year from now I have less and less and less of it, but the traits that are good for me, for my growth, that's something that I will not change for anything. I don't want to be conformed to this word. I hate this word. Does my Asperger's make it difficult for me to interact with people? Yes, especially if they're extremely chaotic. I like order, I like stability, I like peace. I don't like being around drama. After 5 minutes of a drama situation, I just want to go away from it. I flee from it. Only time I ever get involved in a drama situation, is for the sake of a loved one, and I make that sacrifice onto that for that reason, but I will not continue to do so. If it's all frustrates me if things are unavoidable. So my hatred, my Asperger's is a lot as a reaction to things, really, and how part of myself. But the part of myself I imagine myself is some Asperger's traits that I wish I was more courageous or more stoic when this decisive situation, more dominant when it comes to making decisions, and not afraid if people hate me. I know it's part of myself I have to get rid of, just not to be, not to care what people think of me, or what I do. If they love me, they love me. If they don't, they don't. Kind of the philosophy and the way of thinking. Set clear boundaries. If they cross those boundaries, there's consequences. Just having self-respect, having dignity and honor. So this whole child part of myself, the Asperger's, there's part of it that's a blessing. I'm more friendly, I'm more loving, I'm more kind, but there's aspects of that then that leaves me open to what I call wolves, or predators. Like I call them social predators. You know, just go in, try to make a bond with you, just take stuff and then just leave you breathing dry. No, it wasn't parasite. At least a parasite, I can see a parasite coming, but with humans it's just very hard because people wear masks. No, I don't wear masks. I hate masks. Not just because of the whole last 3 years. I always hate masks. I always trying to be direct with people the best I can. Now in some situations do I have to behave slightly differently? Yes, due to not to make the situation worse. But other than that, I don't wear masks. I hate masks. So my inner hatred of exposures has to do with how I interact with people, has to do with my own behaviour towards people, and how then I sometimes become emotional, like a child, and kind of going like a fetal position, or I go into corner and I cry. So what I do now instead is no, because I just move myself from any situation. I go off praying. I go for a walk. I go praying. That's what I do whenever faced with a situation that I find deeply spiritually, emotionally damaging, and it's taking its toll on my soul. I just remove myself and I pray, and praying helps me a lot. It helps a lot cope. It gives me peace, and then I just focus on doing something creative. Yeah, so I do pray that it's if you're someone that struggles with the whole Asperger's syndrome condition, it can be easily for you to get like self-hatred of yourself, because like you always have to deal with other people's perception of you. Then you have to, it's like a minefield, because you're bombarded with the world kind of wants to shape you, because this world wants to shape you into something that you're not. And I would never force anyone to change who they are unless they want to change who they are. So I often kind of disagree with forced conversion of anything. To me it's like daft and stupid, and for me personally, trying to force myself to conform to this world just caused me to become deeply suicidal. So I pray that people want to change because they desire to change in their heart. You know, they have a desire to do so. Otherwise, like forcing someone to change aspects about themselves, to me is just stupid, because that person has to make that decision. They have free agency, to choose. So my self-hatred for my Asperger's is just the conditions I have. It just makes it harder for me to interact with other people. And the stuff I say, the stuff I wished I didn't say. The stuff I want to say, I don't say. And the stuff that I don't want to say, I say. So that's the basis, main reason why I have a hatred of Asperger's. And the things that I want to do, I don't do. And the things I do that I don't want to do, I do. So yeah. Anyway, thanks for watching this video of inner hatred of Asperger's, and I do pray that this video was of a help to either understand myself better, or I get you been more small bit of fragment insight into myself, or that if in any way it helped you in any way, either yourself personally or someone you know. Thanks very much, and God bless.